Welcome. I wish we were here together in person for this breakfast. I always enjoy getting to see all the smiling faces, and especially year after year, those who are supporting Sacred Heart Shelter. I want to send a thank you to Molly and to Lisa and to St. Bridget's Church for making this happen today. You get to be in the comfort of your home and office and not with us, but we are truly grateful. Thank you again to Father Herrick. As Molly mentioned, St. Bridget's has been a partner with us for many, many years, and we are so thankful for their ongoing support. Last year was a challenge for everyone at the shelter, in the community, but we at Sacred Heart continued to help families find more stable housing. We adapted our space to help kids attend school online and kept protocols in place to keep families safe and staff safe. As you all know, this has been a trying year. A lot of the things that you did at home, we did even more so. Cleaning and masks and more cleaning and more masks, looking at not having visitors and sadly not having volunteers in our space. I'm so proud to say that our families we serve together and the staff have found such resilience in the past year and has brought us even closer to know that the services that we provide and you help us provide have made a huge difference in the lives of our families. One of those ways, besides us having 100% free from COVID shelter, which I'm very proud of, we had to shift and pivot for school. As all of you parents know, doing your own homeschooling, at Sacred Heart, we serve 10 families. And so that can mean anywhere from 10 to 30 kids at any given time, sometimes even a couple more. So we had to pivot for online learning. At Sacred Heart, we had internet problems. Unfortunately, we are in a very old building that has not been upgraded for the internet to be sufficient to sustain online schooling. One of the ways that we have evolved to have online schooling at Sacred Heart Shelter was early on to hire a full-time school coordinator, a kids coordinator, that's job was really to focus on all the difficulties that go into helping kids get online and coordinate with the schools and the parents so that the kids at Sacred Heart had a chance to begin the process of going back to school. Looking ahead, we are really excited at Sacred Heart Shelter. We are looking to get vaccinations, mobile vaccination unit come to Sacred Heart in the next few weeks to do vaccinations for our families. This is one step that'll move us much closer to getting back to a more normal situation. Unfortunately, all of the changes we made and all of the expansion of services and keeping people safe was an absolute unknown cost to us in the beginning. It wasn't something any of us budgeted for and any of us had resources for, but we decided that there was no choice, that our family's safety, that our kids being able to go to school, that keeping Sacred Heart a safe place for everyone was the key factor. And within Catholic Community Services across the board, that was important, that we were going to sustain the services that were so needed. So as I said, because of that, there's been extra costs. So I certainly hope that as you're listening today and hearing some of these stories, that you think about Sacred Heart and think about a donation you could make to us. It truly is a time where it will make a difference. We also are looking forward to having volunteers in our space at some point. We miss you greatly. We have some volunteers still coming to drop off meals, but having volunteers in the kitchen, which a number of St. Bridget's people and people in the community do, has been greatly missed. I'm really, again, sorry I'm not with you all. I love the energy of going to a breakfast and having people that I know love Sacred Heart and support Sacred Heart. It's definitely a high point for me and a big boost that I remember and keeps me going when times are difficult, as they are for all of us right now. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving generously to the program that I know you care about. Our volunteer resource coordinator, is up next, and she is going to give a tour of the shelter and talk a little bit about more who we are and what's happening. I hope to see you all in person soon, and I miss you. Thank you.
And I am the volunteer coordinator here at Sacred Heart Shelter. We're going to start a tour right now, and we are going to go into the children's playroom, which has been transformed into the online learning center. Here you'll see on your left the food boxes that we get every week from the Emmanuel's Food Bank. They come specifically geared towards every family. The families request what items they want. Now we are going to continue into our kitchen area. Here we have one of the guest rooms. They have a bed, cabinet here that can lock. It's their closet.
Joe Gasbridge, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. Just love to share a few points about Sacred Heart Shelter and what it has meant to us as parishioners at St. Bridget's 30 years ago, when our parish was going to celebrate 25 years of being a parish. Maurice Jones and myself were asked to search with a committee and find what would be a really hands-on, meaningful place to really volunteer and make donations for all these years. And the committee chose Sacred Heart Shelter. Many different people of different groups and backgrounds and ages have been involved by either helping with a kitchen remodel. Somebody donated for the refrigerator. Somebody came down and hammered and fixed windows, going upstairs and replacing linens in the bedrooms, tutoring or reading with the kids, playing with kids in the playground. Cooking meals was also a huge thing and still is. Of course, this year with the pandemic, that's really made a big change. But in all manner, we have felt so blessed to be involved with Sacred Heart Shelter and to really feel like we are impacting people's lives for the better. And I just would urge you and hope you could think about, if you wanted to volunteer, there's many different ways to do it. Or if you would like to donate, we would be so grateful. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless.
My name is Tracy Hartz, and my husband Jim and I have supported Sacred Heart Shelter for years. We both appreciate their mission of empowering the entire family. I love to cook, and so for me, one of the ways that I love to try and support the shelter is to take a home cooked meal. And probably the most rewarding part about doing that is is just seeing the kids when you drop off your meal. I usually bake homemade cookies, and the kids really seem to like that. So I would encourage anyone to sign up to take a meal if that's something that appeals to you. And I appreciate the shelter and what they provide.
Hi, my name is Allie Watson, and I have volunteered at Sacred Heart Shelter in the past, as well as my children and my husband. We love Sacred Heart Shelter. It's a wonderful place where they take great care of all of their residents. Our family has mainly done some of the monthly dinners or even participated in making a meal for the families there. And we'll go to Costco, buy a whole bunch of stuff, create a big meal for about 25 people, and then bring it in. We met a bunch of the residents, and my kids were able to hang out and play with some of the kids in the shelter, which really made an impact on them as well. They were able to see how, the shelter runs and how wonderful the families and kids really are there. It made us want to keep volunteering there. My husband is in the healthcare industry, and he has been working really hard this past year and had an overabundance of cleaning supplies that were just kind of taking up space in our office at home. And he said to me, gosh, I'd really like to do something with these cleaning supplies. I wonder if the Sacred Heart Shelter would be able to use any of this. We called them up. They were like, yeah, come on down. And our whole family ended up coming down and just unloading all of these awesome cleaning supplies. One of the things that I love about Sacred Heart Shelter is their ability to care for, love, and respect all people, regardless of their socioeconomic backgrounds. And it has been a privilege of ours to help Sacred Heart Shelter and be a part of their community. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Hi, my name is Alvin Benuya. I'm the executive chef here at Jazz Alley. Through the grace of our owner, John Demetrio, his decision was to figure out a way to help the community, providing meals for the community in need. Right now, we are serving close to 20 agencies. Twice a week, we're serving a total of just under 3,000 meals that we prepare here in the kitchen. And we were able to employ a few people and keep the kitchen active. So here we're in the process of packaging about 1,300 meals, a good portion of which is also going to Sacred Heart. Most of what we make here, to be honest, comes from the heart. This is food that we love. Hope that people will enjoy, and it's something that that we are able to utilize our talents, our passion, because we all love what we do. Not surprisingly, it's been a year and we still enjoyed it. It's still very much a labor of love for us. We were deciding on what to do for a brunchy type item, and I thought, being local asparagus season, I thought it would be nice to do a nice puff pastry, like a tartlet type of thing. It'll be a rectangular tartlet with local Yakima asparagus, roasted, maybe some caramelized onions, maybe goat cheese, a nice Parmesan and or ricotta. We really, really hope you enjoy it. Well, along with everything here, we really appreciate your support of Sacred Heart Shelter. I think they're doing a wonderful thing in the community. We are certainly proud to be a part of supporting it as well. So we thank you very much.
My name's Brianna. I have my family at Sacred Heart, me and my 4 children. So we went through a traumatic experience, and I had to leave abruptly with absolutely nothing. I borrowed my friend's car, and I put my kids and our little puppy dog and left as fast as I could. And we went to the day center at New Bethlehem while we were sleeping on Alki and going back and forth, and they helped me get the kids in school while we were still sleeping in the car so that we could at least start to get the routine back and to keep the kids in something positive while we were still trying to figure out what we were going to do. And New Bethlehem found us a spot at the Methodist Church in Redmond, and so we spent evenings there, which was great because, you know, they have mattresses on the floor and they have a little dinner every night, so you actually got to stretch out, and you were with tons of other little families in the same room. But the beginning of this entire journey since we started with the people that cared about us at New Bethlehem and Sacred Heart was just the blessing to what our life has become now again, that we finally got our life back through all these amazing people who helped us along the way. And Barbara Lopez, she works at Sacred Heart also, and so she told me to call every day, that's how you got into that place. And we finally got in, and it wasn't really, in retrospect, that long. It certainly seemed long because, you know, 4 kids in a little car and not knowing what you're going to do, and, you know, getting them dressed in the bathrooms and parks when you're trying to get them off to school because you still have to do the right thing. And how are you supposed to get better in life if you don't continue to do the right thing? So it was rough, but when we got into Sacred Heart, that was sort of the beginning of the settlement of beginning our life over. And the minute that we got there, it was like relief. And people were so welcoming and caring and patient. You know, they understood that you don't just fall into something like this. Something to happen in order for you to be there. So they weren't pressuring or mean. And the children just loved it because it was almost like one big family, you know, because you shared everything. And so they were always together. And so all the kids were together, always up and down the stairs and outside. And, you know, they finally got to be with children again and sleep and stretch out, you know, and have a place to actually have a meal, because you just buy stuff that's easy to eat and keep in the car, like crackers and milk in box containers, because it's not like you have anywhere usually to put it, I guess. So it was nice to have meals again. We cooked a Sacred Heart, which was like amazing because you really didn't cook for so many months, you know, so it was kind of neat to, I mean, I got a bubble bath, which people don't understand how like important it is to relax, right? Or to just, I love that. Some people don't like it, but months and months of just showering and not being able to just soak your feet, and I scrubbed the bathtub, and, you know, I mean, there's a lot of families, right? You're scrubbing it all the time, all the babies all the time, and it was cool. That was probably one of the best parts in the very beginning, right? Mommy in her bathtub. Everything started to evolve within the church, like meeting everyone, such as Selena, because she was really the start of my transformation. Because it's easy to keep going when you have beautiful babies that mean the world to you. It's like you have to. It's like there's no option to fail. So whatever you have to do, you keep your head up and you keep going. And then there's a part that when you get to that point that you can be a little vulnerable again, you break down. And the church was a safe place to just cry and start to really take in everything, and the nightmares started to dissipate, and so many things started to fall in place. And Selena was a very encouraging person for me because I was very apprehensive to do anything. And honestly, the COVID didn't help my reclusiveness. I was already so scared. And I was like, woo, you mean I get to just stay in the room? And Selena helped me. She helped me believe in myself again. You know, every time I had a question about, you know, what I should say or what people thought and what I should do, she was always very opening and caring and giving unjudged good advice. And I found Sprouts through Selena. Selena found it, and apparently I think they sourced out to different agencies and and shelters within the region. So because I was like, they're not going to want me. Why would I? They're not going to. I haven't worked in so long, and I had every excuse. And then she said, no, they came to us. I mean, they just want people to apply. And I hadn't worked in almost a decade. My husband died in 2013, and then I had another baby, and I just didn't go back to work for the longest time. And I was trying to help out family that weren't exactly very accepting of love. They started to hire in the very beginning of the year, and then they stopped the hiring because the COVID started. And then I got a phone call like 2 months later saying that they wanted another interview. And then the Zoom actually failed, which I was happy about because I'm just, insecure. And so I was very happy I didn't have to see anyone, but I did really good on the phone interview. I don't know, the questions just seemed to be perfect. So I actually opened up the shop on 130th on Aurora. We started working and stocking the shop and learning modules, which there's like a mini school before you even get to work on the floor. So I started in May. We didn't even open till June 10th, and I've been there ever since, and it's probably to this day one of the best jobs I've ever had. They're amazing to work for, and I owe that to Selena because she was the one that kept encouraging me and telling me I was good enough and I could do it. Working for great people that just want to make the whole world healthy and turn people on to plant-based living. I'm back down 3 different sizes because I'm an emotional eater, and when what happened to us did happen, and we actually got food at the church because when you don't know where your next meal is going to come, when we finally got to the church and there was an abundance of food, and then through the winter and my emotional eating and my depression set in. And so, getting back and being with loving people, like everyone at Sacred Heart was so great to us, and I got my life back because of them. The children are, like all children, they're doing okay. They gave them everything they ever needed. When the internet didn't work, Selena went to the library and got tons and tons of little hotspots. There was no saying no. They were doing school. So that was great. And they brought in all these activities. And that was another thing that was really great about Sacred Heart, is because they knew that it wasn't just the parents going through everything, that these children had emotions too, that they had things built up, that they had seen and gone through things that they should have never had to experience. And they didn't know how to let their grief and their anger and their frustration and their anxieties out also. So they were always doing stuff with the children. The painting, they were always bringing out the little crafts so that the kids had a way to relieve their stress too. And that was phenomenal because most people, they think kids are second, and they're not.
So then how about your apartment?
Oh, Selena did that too. I'm sorry, but okay, so we looked, and we applied at a couple of different places, and it never really worked out. It never really was what we wanted, and we had seen this place before, but it was always unavailable. And then one day they got a spot. We were over there the very next day with the application, and yeah, it was like not even a week later, and now we have a great 3-bedroom. Right directly kitty corner. I can see my job from the window. So yeah, and my oldest, he helps out like so much with the children, and then I usually tend to work nights so that I can be at home with the kids. And my 16-year-old, he babysits a lot, of course, but big brother, he's great at it. And yeah, it's been wonderful. Anyone supporting Sacred Heart, it's not in vain. And people like myself are never going to take it for granted. I was frightened of what I was running from, but knew. I always had faith in God and knew there's something better. Sacred Heart was a saving grace for me and my children. It was a blessing straight from the Lord. Got us off the street, got us safe, allowed us to reestablish our life, and without it, I don't know where me and my babies would be. But without this church, I don't know what would have happened, because without good people still in the world, I got my happiness back. My kids got their happiness back. I got my peace of mind back, and it was because of Sacred Heart. Pure love every single day. What do you need from us? Are you sleeping well? Let us pray for you. What do you need to get through this day in order to get to the next, to the week, to the month? And now I can see again how awesome next year is going to be. And I wasn't scared of the very next day. And that's over. And I sleep now, and my babies smile. And anything that you do to help Sacred Heart, you help families that truly do need love again.
Thank you to everyone who attended today and to those that will watch later.
Your donation to Sacred Heart Shelter ensures that families have the tools, supplies, and systems in place to put them on